is here with us. We acknowledge your presence, sir. Also, you heard earlier from Professor Kweku Danso. In our midst also is Mr. Kofi Totobi Kwache. And we acknowledge all your presence and will be doing more acknowledgements in due time. We also have in our presence the Majority Leader, the Honorable Mahama Ayariga. Thanks for your presence as well. And once again, I'd like to acknowledge the presence of all senior staffers and advisors at the Presidency. Next, it is my distinguished honor and pleasure to welcome our guest of honor, the Honorable Goodluck Jonathan, who is a Nigerian zoologist, did you know that? And a politician who served as Vice President in Nigeria from 2007 to 2010, and the President of Nigeria from 2010 to 2015. He attended the University of Port Harcourt, earning a BSc in zoology in 1981, and an MS in hydrobiology and fisheries, and a PhD in zoology in 1995. He worked as an assistant director at the Oil Mineral Producing Areas Development Commission, which is now defunct, from 1993 to 1998. He was elected Deputy Governor of Bayelsa until 2005, when he was elevated to the governorship position after the incumbent was charged with corruption and impeached. In 2007, he was selected to be the running mate of the PDP's presidential candidate, Umar Musa Yar'Adua. And the rest, they say, is history when you have a name as good as Goodluck Jonathan. So either you're a Goodluck Jonathan or you're a John Dramani Mahama. And they're all seated together today with very interesting shared experiences. Ladies and gentlemen, let's, with a resounding round of applause, welcome our guest of honor, His Excellency Goodluck Jonathan.
Thank you. Please be seated. Thank you for that, my profile. But the most important job I did, and the one I think I love most, you left it out. That was when I lectured. That was the most important job, and the one I still believe the best. For today, let me appreciate His Excellency, my good friend, President Mahama. Let me also appreciate the Regional Director of UNDP Africa, and for your brilliant speech. Let me appreciate the Chairman of NDC, because without them we will not be here. And let me just adopt the protocol of the previous speakers so that I would not waste much of your time. Secretary to Cabinet, if I stay here more than 10 minutes, just raise your hand so that I will go down. Because I don't want to waste too much time, because this session will supposed to take 1 hour. And I have to thank the President and the government for taking care of me and my team since we arrived yesterday. And I'm quite pleased that UNDP and the government invited me to come and participate in this retreat, Thinking Leadership and Leading Systems. It's a quite interesting topic. We talked about leadership and leadership of a country. Ordinarily, I would have, as a keynote speaker, I would have come with a written script to read, but I'm always mindful about theoretical issues, maybe taken from the books, taken from what people said. So I'll just have a little conversation with you and leave. Because what will I tell President Mahama? Two of us were vice presidents. He has been a president for the past he was a president for 4 years and is back. I was also a president for just 5 years, and he is a scholar. I know him very well. The cabinet of Ghana, from the little I know, you can describe it as a smart cabinet, like smart cities these days, made up of a number of very young people and very well-informed. So what kind of theories about leadership that I need to tell them? No. I will just share some of my experiences. Well, and I'm always mindful. I remember in the mid-80s or so, at the beginning of use of computers for word processing. Because I lived in Port Harcourt then, we were using electric typewriters to do word processing. Then I have a friend who read secretariat studies and was working in Lagos. So he quickly got a small desktop computer, came to Port Harcourt and set up a word processing small business. And because people loved the computer compared to the electric typewriters that were being used, so people are always going there. So his business was doing well. And one year he wrote 2 books. First is Management of Small Businesses, and he was managing a small business. And he wrote a book on how to manage small businesses. And he also established a magazine on, is it counseling or so, family counseling or something like that. I went for the launching of those 2 books. Then I was assistant director in the project the lady mentioned. And that year, his small business collapsed. That year, his wife left him. So I'm always mindful about theoretical issues. So I will not attempt to take you through theoretical concepts, but I sincerely appreciate being a part of this story. And for President Mahama, you are lucky. Not very few presidents lose elections and come back. You and Trump, you are back. But the key thing is you have an advantage because you've been president before, so no learning curve. You will hit the ground running from day one. But the disadvantage you have is, assuming the previous time, I don't want to.
Tell you what's up, no good in done, you're soon, aqua Charlie. I tell you what's up, enjoy the ride.
Stay dry and fresh with Nevia Dry Deo. Keep moving forward with Derma 72.
Look at the dynamics. I said, don't worry, I'm thinking. And if I look at the social media, people will post, take us to where Jonathan left us. That means that if I should jump in to contest the election from the one, people will expect me to take Nigeria to where I left. I mentioned 2 things. Our exchange rate then, when I was in office, was about 150 naira to the dollar, almost throughout. But towards the elections, either because of the nature of our campaigns, some people really demarketed the country because of politics, or maybe too much money, the form of dollar came into the market. The exchange rate moved quite close to 200, but not quite 200 naira to the dollar. Now the exchange rate is 1,500 plus to the dollar. Is there any magic wand you will use to push it back? It's difficult. 2 days ago, I was discussing with one of my security officers. I said that they entered the restaurant or so, and somebody ordered for a plate of rice. And asked the price, and they say 8,000 naira. And somebody says, but in 2015, that was the year I left, we were buying a bag of rice for 8,000. Now a plate of rice is 8,000. So can I perform that kind of magic? And you see, Nigeria and Ghana, our tenures of president is so short. In Africa, it's only Nigeria and Ghana that have 4 years tenure of presidency. Other countries have 5. Most countries have 5 years. And I remember when I was a vice president, one of our presidents, we were having a conversation, say, you Nigerians think that America, they are so stable to have just 4 years. What can somebody do in 4 years? If you're a new president and you just come in, you need about a year as a learning curve before you will adjust. You work for 2 years, the next year is election year. So the time to really move your country is